What's up, chums? Sharky here, and welcome back to the Shark Bites podcast.
Why do you keep inviting me back?
Cause
Aren't
you're,
you sick of me yet?
Cause you're the only one who's not busy.
Is
You
that
know
a compliment
this.
or an insult?
Neither. I mean, we always talk about this. Like, you're the only one that's down to do stuff when I want to do it.
Fair enough.
Because everybody else is like, no, I'm busy. I don't know.
Fair enough.
So today we're talking about dreams, nightmares, anything that has to do with dreams, I guess.
All that fun stuff.
But first, let's do some small talk.
Yay.
What's up?
I'm alive.
You say that every time. Every episode.
Oh no.
I feel like I've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off lately. Like the last 3 weeks at least.
Why is that?
Do you ever feel like so much happens in a very short time span?
Sometimes.
Like, that has literally been me the last 3 weeks. Like, between, the stuff with my sister going on. By the way, she's coming to Texas.
Fun.
For a while. I don't know how long, but... So, like, between that and just, like... I had my 2 interviews with the company that I'm pretty sure I got the job at.
It's awesome.
Because I'm doing the paperwork now. That, and then just... I've been messing with the tank stuff, like setting up my corals and stuff in the aquarium has been taking a lot of my time.
How's all that been going?
It's going good, though. Like, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, it is work, because it's like, a pet you're taking care of. I like it, though. It's fun.
Your tank hasn't exploded yet?
Nope. Everything has been open, happy, and healthy so far. So I'm excited for that. I'm meeting a guy this weekend to get some more, and then I'm probably gonna stop for a while. I'm actually running out of space for coral. Like, you saw the picture I sent you.
Yeah.
Like, I have no sand bed left at all.
Time to get a bigger tank.
Yeah, I guess I better just move on to a 75 gallon.
That's a big tank.
Honestly, that might break through the floor. I don't know.
Let's test it out.
Because did you know that salt water weighs more than fresh water?
I figured all water weighed the same.
Nope. Salt water is like 2 times heavier than fresh water. It's the salt content, that's why.
I was gonna say, is it because it's salty?
Yep. So how have you been?
Well, I can't say I'm alive.
Well, I mean, like, your week.
Nothing exciting.
Did you draw anything cool?
The usual. Just been drawing my... Wow, my brain just completely shut off for a second.
Have you been trying anything new with, like, crafts or art?
I've been making resin cups.
Nice.
And since it's not actually storming, I can do my last flare of resin.
Okay, so you're getting back into your resin stuff?
Yeah, so this is like where it's those metal cups.
Yeah.
And you put glitter and whatever else you want on it, and you just coat it in resin, pretty much.
So can you put, like printed out stuff in it?
Mm-hmm. I just gotta print it on photo paper. I've got one I'm doing right now, and it's got the daycare logo on it.
Nice.
Because I'm trash. I accept it.
I'm finally getting around to my commissions. I've been putting them off for the last week because of all the job stuff. But
Hey,
they all know, they're cool with it, so
hey, do your commissions.
I know. And even after I get those done, like I'm always talking about how I want to draw more stuff for myself, but I never get around to it.
We
Uh
just need to do an art trade sometime. We keep talking
I
about it.
know, we literally say that like every time we talk.
It ain't ever gonna happen.
Okay, so let's get on topic. Dreams, and we'll add nightmares onto this. Do,
Okay,
do you need some time?
maybe.
Okay, I can just start pulling
Go
some
for
out of my butt to start.
it. Sounds good, because that's where dreams come from.
I I don't know. When it comes to dreams and even nightmares, I would say I totally believe that not every dream or nightmare means something. Like I think sometimes it could just be your brain like venting about something.
Yeah, I
But
agree with that.
I feel like the ones that are really realistic or like something makes a lot of sense, maybe those have more to do with your real life.
Yeah, I can see that.
One of the examples that I've shared, and you've already heard this, but I wanted to tell the listeners, I've dreamt of people like friends of mine or like family members of mine that I haven't spoken to or that I haven't been on good terms with. I've had dreams about them, and then, they kind of become like on my mind. And then sometimes I'll like reach out to them and either like, try to reconnect or apologize for something or whatever. And then I stop having dreams about them. I've had that happen quite a few times. And I think maybe that's an example of like, when things correlate to real life.
Yeah,
But I've also had just absolutely crazy dreams too that make no sense.
I've
Um
had some somewhat weird dreams lately.
I think it's so weird. Like I used to have a lot of dreams about driving, and
Hmm,
it's kind of funny cuz like in my dream each time I've gotten a new car in real life, the car in my dream changes. Like with, the current car that I'm driving. I always thought that was funny.
that is interesting.
But I've had dreams of like driving at night, getting lost, looking for my car, like I'm not driving, but I'm like in a parking lot like looking for my car. Um I think those are my least favorite. When I was younger, like before I had a license in real life, I used to dream about the bus, like missing the bus or um the bus not showing up, or just a lot of dreams about like school buses. And then that kind of changed into cars.
But
Um
I've not heard of that happening before.
yeah, I don't know why, cuz like I would always have this fear in the dream that I was going to be late for something, like late for school. But listen, like I was a very on time and even early student. Like I never missed the bus. I'm never late cuz I have anxiety. So I'm always like
Mm,
early. But that's been like throughout my entire life I've had dreams like that. And kind of going off of that, my lifelong dream patterns that I've noticed, I guess. I also dream a lot about fish and sharks. Now I know what you're thinking. Like that is your favorite like animals. Like duh, you dream about them, but they're kind of odd though. Like you would think, if I dreamt about sharks that it would be kind of scary. I guess for most people it would be scary.
I wouldn't expect that with you, considering how much you love sharks.
Okay, so maybe it's not as weird, but it's always like the shark never hurts me. Like it might come at me, like it might swim at me, it might brush past me, but the shark is never like attacking me or like hurting me, but I'm always aware that it's there and I could see it and I'm like making eye contact with it. And then I also have a lot of dreams about aquariums. I recently had one, not last night, but the night before, where I had just set up an aquarium that was a saltwater tank. It had coral, it had fish, it had everything, and everything was going good. Like nothing was dying, like everything was fine. But then like this person showed up. I guess like I was living with them or something. I don't know who it was. But they brought me a fish bowl and it had like some dead goldfish in it. And it was like a really
What?
like nasty tank and it was really gross. And I was like, oh, like I was telling them like, oh, this is wrong and you need to like, you know, if you want it to live, like you have to do this and that because I know a lot about fish. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just, it was very, it was, I felt good when I woke up because I felt like I helped the person in my dream. Um,
Hmm.
but before that, like for years and years, I've had dreams about tanks, but they're always nasty and dead. Like there's dead things in them, dead fish, and like, just think of like the nastiest fish tank you've ever seen.
A
That
Walmart fish tank.
Yeah, basically. That's what it looks like usually in my dreams. Like I very rarely have dreams where like I just mentioned where it's like clean and everything's correct and it's usually nasty and I'm trying to fix it desperately.
Hmm.
So, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting.
Lately, I've been having dreams where I get murdered.
Oh, care to elaborate on that?
Well, it's pretty straightforward. Like I have ones where it's just kind of like almost like a daily life thing, and then I'm being threatened with my life.
Is
I'm
it
just
like
like,
a
oh.
specific person or no?
And then I have one dream that sticks out to me I had a few weeks ago where there was a horrible storm and I was in Kroger's, of all places. If I'm not there, it's Walmart. I hate it. And just the water was just rising up, and I'm just like, this is fine. I had no panic. I was like, I may drown, but this is okay.
I had a dream that I got stabbed once.
Same.
Like, and I remember like it was very brief, like it was short. Somebody like came up to me, shanked me, and then I felt my soul like leave my body and I woke up. Like
Okay,
as out of body, I woke up. It was weird.
so that brings me to this then. You know when you're dreaming, and all of a sudden you feel like you're, even if you don't step off anything, you feel like you're falling and you like jump in your sleep.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I hate that.
It is so weird.
I've done that where you just abruptly like shake awake.
Yeah,
It's like a jolt. You're just like, "What the?" Yeah,
it's
what
very
was
jarring.
I think I was dreaming about swimming. Like I think I was like swimming in like the ocean or something and I like slipped off a ledge and like to catch myself I like put my arms back but I like woke up. It's weird.
I don't even know what happens when that happens to me. I'm just like, oh, I am in pain now.
I've had dreams about being a mermaid.
I don't think I've had any of those for a long time.
Like have you ever seen the show H2O?
Hmm.
it's basically like that where I'm like, oh no, somebody's gonna see me, and then I like dive in and go like full mermaid and just swim off. Or I've also had dreams of flying, actually.
Ooh, I have those a lot. And
So
I actually become very aware whenever those happen, and
me
I like
too.
start lucid dreaming.
So here's my question for you.
Hmm,
How, when you fly in dreams, how do you get off the ground?
I jump.
You jump? But then, like,
So I'll
what are your
jump, and if
arms
I don't,
doing?
okay, so I'll jump, and if I don't get enough lift, I like jumping in. And it's almost like when you're swimming, how you put your hands together with the back scare, and you like pull like when you're doing, I don't know what the stroke's called.
I know what you mean, yeah. Like
And
you're
then
like you're swimming forward.
I do that, and then once I'm like actually like okay, I'm in the air, I'm good. Then I don't know, it just kind of varies from dream to dream on how my arms move. Like I
Because
just kind of move them weirdly to go higher or something.
yeah, mine are similar. Like I every time I want to go higher, I just do like one big push down like when you swim. Like, if you're like on the bottom of the pool and you want to go to the surface, you like
Yeah,
make your arms do like the I'm
the
even doing
thing.
it right now. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But like to get off the ground, I have to start out doing that. So like I don't jump, I just start doing the hand motion and then I get off the ground.
because because it'll be like where you're just dreaming, you have no control, like just dream stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's like I can fly, and I just remember how to like get myself off the ground. But then a lot of times people start trying to kill me in those dreams.
Have you ever had dreams about being naked?
Yes.
I have some I'd like to share, but do you want to go first?
I don't know. I think I'd like to hear yours first.
So, I don't know what is going on, but I have this almost reoccurring dream where I'm at a gas station and I'm naked.
Hmm.
I do not understand this, but I've had it a few times and it's always a different gas station and I'm usually like trying to hide behind the pump or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
As you would do.
here's the weird thing though. No one notices. Like I'm the only one that notices.
Hmm.
So I'll just be like trying to cover myself and everybody else is just like doing their normal everyday.
Just a normal Tuesday.
Yeah, nobody's like, "Oh, she's naked." No, like no one notices. It's very weird.
Now, see, when I was in school, I never had the dreams where you like it's a test and you end up at school naked. But now as an adult, I have dreams where it's like I gotta get to school, and then I just start having panic attacks. I'm just like, wait, I'm a grown ass adult.
I've had some similar ones like that where I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to be late for class." That kind of thing.
Yeah. And then it's like, wait, I'm not in school anymore. And then I just wake up with the weirdest, like, what just happened?
What's like the scariest dream you've ever had? I guess the murder ones, but
Oh, actually, those aren't that scary.
okay, and then what's your like most
Uh,
memorable scary one?
well, memorable. Uh, okay, so at my old house, I had this. It plays into it. I had this corner desk, and uh, I had like junk underneath it. Shocking. And like a little piano bench that I sat at, and it had like my computer and stuff.
Mhm.
And then my bedroom door was right there. And I had a dream where I don't know what, but it was like a dark void, and something was trying to rip my leg off. And I was
Ooh,
just clawing, trying to get away, and my leg was actually in pain when I woke up.
that's freaky.
And covering bruises, but that's kind of normal.
Mine's kind of similar-ish without the pain part. Um, let me. Okay, so the I've had a lot of scary dreams. Like I watch a lot of horror movies. I know you don't, but
That's your first problem.
I've seen a lot of horror movies. But here's the thing though. I don't often dream about horrible stuff. Like it's actually very rare, which I find weird because I do watch a lot of scary stuff all the time. But I remember this one time specifically, I woke up in a panic. Like I was freaking out. So I dreamt that I was, well, I'll have to give you some context first. So when we lived in Illinois, when I was in high school, we lived in Normal, Illinois, which is like next to Bloomington. Um,
Is any part of Illinois really normal?
no, Normal was not normal. I can guarantee you that. But so we lived in like this little neighborhood, and I didn't have my own like bedroom because it was a 3-bedroom house. So, but we had a basement. So I had yeah. I had my room in the basement and we put like it was unfinished, but we put like a carpet down there on one side. And then I had like my bed and TV and all that stuff. So we set it up like a finished basement basically. But
Mm-hmm.
only on like one half of the basement. So like the rest of it was like dark and cold and scary. Um,
Like
but
a normal basement.
yeah, like your standard basement. I'm so glad they don't have basements in Texas. Oh my gosh. That is a childhood fear of mine. um, but anyway, so in the dream, um, in my room I had like this futon that was like it had like a metal frame and it was like a black cushion. You know what a futon is?
Yes.
Like a couch for those
Mm-hmm.
who don't know. So in my dream I was sleeping. I know that sounds weird. I was dreaming about sleeping or like getting ready to sleep on this futon in my room. It was like dark down there, like there were no lights on or anything. And in the dream, or nightmare, I should say, I started seeing like all of these darker than pitch black shadows around me. So you know how like when it's pitch black and you can't see your hand in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
They were even darker than that. Like I could see the outlines of them in the dream. So there wasn't a whole lot to it, but like I remember like two of them were holding me down on the futon and one was like behind me with its hand over my mouth and like I was trying to like scream out for help and I couldn't. Like no sound came out and I was like absolutely terrified. And I woke up like in a panic. Like
I bet.
it was one of the freakiest dreams I've ever had. It was so dark. Like not just visually, but just the feeling in the dream. It was just one of the darkest ones I've had. But
That's crazy.
I'll never forget that one. They were basically like trying to suffocate me in a dark
Mm.
basement.
That
But
reminds me, I had a nightmare. This was back when I was like super depressed and stuff.
yeah.
And I just had where basically I had died. I was in this weird in between state. Like, no heaven, no hell, but you're not like some ghost haunting on Earth. It was weird.
So like a purgatory type thing?
Sort of.
Okay.
And it was almost like this. It, it was like this almost like window type thing but it was like I was underwater, like when I moved around.
Hmm.
And there was like this glass, and I could see like the people that I knew in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like this shadowy figure who's like, see, they don't care that you're gone. You were just a problem. And I just woke up after, like, because it felt like I was in that dream for years, being told how much it did not matter that I was gone.
Oh, it's almost
Uh,
like a movie scene.
and it was so weird. Like, that one fucked with me for a while.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I had some pretty weird ones when I was at my lowest point too. When I was
Luckily, I'm okay now.
when I lived in good. When I lived in Carbondale, um you know the show, I'm sure you've heard of it. You probably don't watch it, but American Horror Story.
I know of it. I got Brad watching it. I never watched it. I just knew it was something he would like.
So, I used to binge watch that show, and anybody who has seen it might reiterate that it is not a good idea to binge watch a bunch of that and then try to sleep. It's a freaky show. Like there is some really disturbing like imagery that happens in the show, and I'm talking like really like psychologically messed up stuff. Like I think the people that wrote the show went a little too far sometimes.
I don't know. From what I've heard about that show, Black Mirror, I think that one might be worse. I've never watched
I've
it,
never seen that
but I'm
either.
just going off of what I've heard.
Yeah, American Horror Story, like the premise, I guess. Each season is like a different, I guess, theme. So like they did like a carnival one, and they did like Salem witch trial themed one, and like nuns, and like a bunch like
Shocking.
each season is a different theme, but they all use the same actors and actresses, but they play different characters. So a lot of it is inspired by real life events, but it's like very loosely based. I mean, it's not like historically accurate, like they add things in and stuff, but it does have some, maybe a little bit of truth sprinkled throughout it, but it's just, it got me, like, I was already depressed when I was watching that, so it kind of just made me feel even worse, like,
Oh
just
no.
watching that every day. And I had some of the most disturbing dreams that I've had when I was watching that show. And honestly, it got me so emotional that I had to like stop. I just quit cold turkey watching that show. I just could not do it anymore. I wouldn't
Like,
recommend people watching it if you have like depression, or like if things really get to you that are like psychologically messed up, I wouldn't recommend watching it.
yeah. Uh, I had tried watching that BoJack Horseman,
Oh, I've heard of that.
and it was really good, but it gets so like existential and dark that
Yeah.
I can't, and it makes me mad because I want to finish it because I know it's a good show, but it just sends me into dark places, and I can't.
The other thing too about American Horror Story is it's very sexualized, which being Demi, I'm really not into that. So like anytime there was like a scene like that, it messed with my head because I'd be thinking about it, and I don't, it was like intrusive thoughts really
Mm,
after watching that. Ugh, yeah. I'm so glad I don't watch that anymore.
I can tell. Ugh.
It threw me for a trip, let me tell you. Um
There's some weird shows out there.
I can't think of any like recent dreams. Like all the ones I mentioned were just throughout my life mostly, except for like the one that I shared from the other night.
Now, growing up, I always had this one dream. It was very strange. I would be crawling through like this kind of like a tunnel or a vent,
Ooh, I don't like
and
that.
I was like a and I was a child, so I was like 10. I was like somewhere between like 8 to 11.
Hmm.
And I even remember having this as a like not quite a toddler, but younger than
Pretty
8 and
young.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had this dream multiple times throughout my life. And it's always the same like vent thing I crawl through, but it feels so familiar. Even the first time I had it, it was like I have been here before. And it was almost like almost like whenever you go to an old friend's home and it's like, "Oh yeah, I know this place."
Hmm.
Like I don't feel scared, but I know something's wrong.
Yeah, you're like, why am
And
I here?
not even that, it's more like a something bad is going to happen at
Mm.
some point. And I'll see people in the vents, but they're like figments.
Mm.
And but they're not people I know, but I recognize them.
Yeah.
And and now in my life I'm like, what past life stuff am I reliving through this?
I've dreamt of old houses that I've lived in as a kid. Like the people aren't there, but like just the building, you know?
Yeah.
Like I dream a lot about when we lived in Decatur.
Mm.
Cuz I mean, we lived there for like 7 years. And I still remember like exactly what the street looks like and who lived where and everything.
I have
Um
that with my childhood home.
but it's like eerie in my dream though, cuz I'll dream about it and I'm like standing in the middle of the street and everyone is gone and it's just the houses. There's nobody in them.
That's some apocalypse stuff
It
right there.
is. It makes me like sad and unsettled when I wake up.
Have you ever had an apocalypse dream?
Yes. I've
What
had
was yours like?
well, I've actually had multiple ones.
Were zombies involved?
Sometimes. Yeah. I've
See,
had
mine it's never like I know if there's zombies or not. I just know like this is it in the world.
I've had straight up like Walking Dead style dreams.
Hmm.
And you know what? I'm usually pretty badass in those.
I had one dream like that once, and it wasn't long after I'd watched Zombieland,
Hmm.
which I love that movie. I've not seen the sequel though.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer.
And I hate zombie movies, but Zombieland's pretty funny, so
Usually, like, in when I do have those dreams, I'm telling you, it is like straight up the Walking Dead show. Like, I'm on the show, but it's real
hmm,
life, it's not a show. And I'm just like, I got my knife and I got like my weapons and stuff, and I'm just
you're
like,
ready you're ready to kick ass.
basically, yeah, I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm not scared. Maybe a little bit. I'm maybe like a little bit scared, but I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm gonna mess you up.
I just remember this one, like it was me and my friends and you know, we were like in a grocery store gathering like supplies and stuff.
Hmm.
And we were on roller skates because we're like, hey, if we're gonna do this, we're getting through here quick with these. I don't know, that was just the logic.
Yeah.
And I had a bat and I was just like knocking them out left and right.
Nice. Oh.
Enjoy that visual of me in roller skates knocking out zombies with a bat.
Yeah. I usually have like a knife or like a bow and arrow or something.
See, I know I'd be terrible with a gun or any of that, so I'm just like,
I
a
never use a
bat.
gun. I never use a gun. It's usually like something sharp that I have.
Something sharp and stabby.
And I just like I kill the zombies like I do like they do in the show where like they just stab them in the head once and then they're dead.
So I feel like that wouldn't work.
Probably not, but it's
Eh.
It's
Logic.
show logic, yeah, Hollywood. But I've also had like non-zombie apocalyptic dreams. I can't say that word. Um
English.
the only one that I really remember was like we were in the backyard of one of my old houses, and like all these people started like showing up out of nowhere, and they were from like all over the world, and they had like all different accents and like different ethnicities and stuff. And then the sky just like exploded, and it was like really bright, and there was like a rainbow everywhere. So
That's different.
I know it sounds like not negative, but like the feeling in the dream was really unsure, like what is going on, you know?
Now I've had okay, so before I get into it, I'm interested in stuff with like, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s,
Yeah,
all that. I love shows from that time. I'm just fascinated by a lot of it. I don't approve of a lot of the morals back then, but other than that,
yeah.
so
Aesthetically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And, during those times, those the times of, bomb threats,
Mhm.
get under the desk, kiss your ass goodbye, all that stuff. And I've had dreams where it's just a freaking nuclear fallout. And I
Wow.
hear the siren clearly. And anytime in games, or if there's a show and they play a siren noise and it's similar to that, I can feel my heart just drop and my blood run cold.
Mm.
It's almost like I'm there, and I'm like, why do I have this gut reaction?
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever had a dream where I'm like in a different decade.
I think it's just due to my weird fascination with it.
I feel like that'd be cool though.
It's kind of fun.
Like to be in a different decade. I'm either a kid in my dreams, so like mid 2000s, or modern day.
So I've had dreams where I'm just like, it's the roaring 20s, I've got a flapper dress, and I'm just
That
partying it up.
sounds
Gatsby
awesome.
style. Oh, those are so fun.
I wish I could have seen the 80s. Like not live there, but just maybe for a day
Be a
just to see,
wall.
just to
Just,
taste it, you know?
I'd love to go to like the 50s or 60s and just experience it all. Because in history and stuff, all it's ever like is just, oh, this political thing happened. Oh, hey, this political thing. I was, I always did great when we learned about what the people were actually doing.
That's
Because
true. They always talk about the political stuff. They don't really talk about other things that was going
this
on.
political figure did this and it sucked. Shocking. But when they would talk about all the stuff that's just what the people did, like what their daily lives were like,
Yeah.
that was the only time history class had my full attention.
I think I would visit the like late 20s. I'm a huge fan of the Three Stooges. I would love to have met them. I
Oh,
think that
that'd be
would
so
be
cool.
I've actually had dreams about it, like meeting the Three Stooges.
I've had a dream where I met Gordon Ramsay and he just yelled at me. I was like, and I just woke up and I was just like, that's fair.
Where's the lamb sauce?
It's fucking raw!
Oh my gosh. I just
Have
think
you
it
seen that Gordon Ramsay has that new show? Next Level
he's
Chef?
always got a new show.
And how can you
No.
not love it?
I
I
no,
need to get caught up.
I do like his shows. He just always has a new one and I can't keep up. Cuz I was kind of disappointed they canceled Hotel Hell. I liked that one.
Oh, that was my favorite.
It was like the predecessor, or like I guess successor of Kitchen Nightmares. Like after that ended, he started doing Hotel Hell, but it got canceled.
Yeah. It
Sad.
Hotel Hell was so good. I feel like that show needs to come back.
I wonder why they canceled it.
Eh, there's probably some good reason.
Yeah.
Probably something legal.
Yeah, maybe like people, like owners were upset about it.
Yeah, because I think it only had 2 seasons, so probably people were like, "You didn't give us a raving review." No, you were there. You saw how things were.
That's kind of how Kitchen Nightmares was. Like it's kind of a good and a bad thing if he comes cuz like they call him,
Hmm.
to come, but then if he, starts changing stuff and talks bad about stuff, I mean, that's, you're basically exposing your restaurant to the world at that point.
What is that one episode? That
But you get all
there,
the publicity though. That's the other
there's
part of it.
one. It was his first, and I think one of his only walkouts, where the woman literally would not listen to him, and she would yell at customers and stuff. Like she got memed really hard.
Amy's.
Amy's, yes.
Who doesn't know that episode? Come
Even if
on.
you're not a fan of the show, like you know it.
That one is the worst.
Oh my god. It makes me wonder, like, how much of this does she believe that she's right versus how much of it's just her trying to cash in?
You know what? I mean, they did like people have posted videos of her like just
Oh
going
yeah.
going there and just talking to her and filming it. She literally is crazy. I mean, that was not
I mean,
acting.
I believe that, but I mean, like, how much of it has been amped up?
Oh, well, they definitely cash in on that. They even have like t-shirts and stuff.
Hmm. So it's not like she's so stupid where it's
Nah, she's not
uh,
oblivious. I
like she
mean,
knows what's going on and she knows like what she's doing at this point, and she's like,
she's
"Well,
just
I'm not gonna change my behavior, so I'm gonna cash in."
she's just a very opinionated,
Stupid,
mean person.
stupid person.
Yeah.
I'll be the mean one here. I'll say it.
Ugh.
Yeah, I love how we go from talking about dreams to
Oh
talking about
no,
Gordon.
to Gordon Ramsay.
Honestly, if you could meet Gordon Ramsay, would you?
Yeah, I love the guy.
But you have to cook something for him.
Oh no. I
I'd cook
I
my
would
shave steak for him.
I would like to meet him. He seems like a cool guy. I know like people always say like he's only angry on camera. Like if you meet him in person, he's chill.
I feel like he's more chill than what he.
It's
Because
for
when they
TV.
edit the shows and stuff,
Yeah.
they have to amp it up.
Yeah,
And
it's for TV.
that, and if you notice when it's him with, like, uh, Master Chef Jr., like, he's real nice to the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't know everything. And I think he only ever kind of gets on to them when they try to act like they do. Because the adults on, like, Hell's Kitchen, they're like, I know everything. I'm the best. I can't do wrong. And he puts them in their place, like, you can't even scale a fish. You
Have you
can't cook
seen
rice.
have you seen Worst Cooks in America?
Yes,
That is one of my favorite shows.
I love Anne Burrell. She is the best. Just her getting on. Just I remember one episode, her going down there because the guy kept putting his finger out when he was cutting, and she scribbled red markers like,
Yeah, tuck it.
"Put your finger away."
Yeah.
And she tries to make it where it's like she does funny voice and stuff. Be like, "Listen, you guys are kind of stupid. I'm gonna do this to help you learn, and also, I like being goofy." So she doesn't take everything obnoxiously serious.
I love it when they like hand them a fish and they just look at it like,
You want us to touch that?
Yeah. even if even if it's already filleted, they don't know what to do with it. They're just like,
I love that show.
This one guy had a bottle of ketchup. He was putting ketchup in everything.
Ew.
I was like, what are you doing? I felt like Gordon Ramsay.
Where's the lamb
It's like,
sauce?
why are you putting ketchup in that? It doesn't go in everything. Ugh.
Like, ketchup goes with most things, but not everything.
I don't even remember what it was, but it looked nasty. Whatever he was making, it was like burnt ketchup and stuff. I'm like,
Ugh.
stop.
I just looked outside and the sky is, tannish orange. Cool.
Maybe because it's like, is it like warm? Warmer?
Cold? It was warm earlier.
Mm.
I'm gonna die at some point. If a tornado gets me, it gets me.
Oh, stop. You and your irrational fear of tornadoes.
No, me and my lack of will to live. Welcome back to depression. It's growing every day. You love me.
Let's get back on topic. we
Topic? What's that?
we got about 10-ish minutes left.
Dreams.
Dreams.
Those are a thing.
I've been waking up sweating lately, but I think it's
That's
just
because you
because
live in
it's
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, I think it's just Texas heat.
Okay. The worst fucking dreams there are. And I am sorry I'm cussing so much.
It's okay. We're past the 10-minute mark. We're good.
Woo.
We're
When
way
you
past it.
when you wake up, you're half asleep, and you're kind of sitting there. You're like, just trying to wake back up and get the motivation to get up for the day.
I'm always the most tired in the morning.
But for me, sometimes I like to sit there and I'll daydream a little, or I'll be like, "Oh, my dream," and I try to recall it. But
Yeah.
you fall back asleep and you don't realize it because you're dreaming that of what you were just doing.
Oh my
Like you're
gosh.
right, and then you start getting ready for your date, and then something
Yes.
happens, and you're like, and then you feel more tired, and then you're just mad because you haven't actually gotten ready.
Yeah, I've literally had dreams where like I'll get up or like start to wake up and then fall back asleep and dream that I'm getting ready for work and I'm asleep.
I hate it.
And then I'll actually wake up and be like, "Oh shit, it's 6:45. I got to get
I'm supposed to be at work.
in 15 minutes." Yeah. Yeah,
I
I hate
hate
that.
those should be illegal. I hate them.
I don't know why your brain does that.
And it goes through your steps as you get
I
ready,
know.
like you normally
Yeah, like
would.
putting your clothes on and like
Oh,
brushing your
gonna brush
hair.
my hair, get my clothes on, brush my teeth. And
Yeah.
usually when I'm around the brush the teeth or walking out the door point, I wake up and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, and then
are
you're
you
like
kidding
late.
me?
Yeah. I
And
hate
then
that.
and then your heart is like racing. You're like, I gotta get ready. I'm gonna be late.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I hate those.
And okay, another thing. When you wake up, and whether it's just because of your alarm just hit weird that day, or something happened in your dream, or some combination, but you wake up, and either it's as you like go to stand up or when you wake up, and you're like almost like an adrenaline rush, but not quite that,
Hmm.
and then you're just like panic. Like you feel like you should be in panic mode. Or your heart's just racing.
Yeah.
Because then the rest of the day just feels horrible. It's raining.
Okay, so this is kind of on topic, kind of off, kind of personal, but I'm going to share it anyway.
Go for it.
I do this thing sometimes in my sleep and I have no control over it, and people that have like slept in the same room as me, they always bring it up. But
What you
so even if I'm not having like one of those kind of dreams, if you know what I'm saying,
I know what you're saying.
I will make noises in my sleep. Like they're like little like whimper moans, and I don't know how to not do that. Cuz I
I don't think there's a way to not do it.
the weird thing is I can hear myself doing it, but I can't stop. I hate it because my sister spent the night with me and she was saying like she was like telling me to stop all night, like stop making those noises. And I was like, I can't. Like I literally can't help it.
It it just
It just
happens.
happens even if I'm not having like a like a nasty dream, you know. I'm just yeah, I can't help it. But the other thing I was going to say real quick, I'm pretty sure that my boyfriend has some kind of sleep disorder because he scares the absolute hell out of me in the middle of the night.
Really.
Did I tell you about this? I thought I
Uh,
did.
you
Anyway,
might have, and I probably forgot.
I'm going to say it again anyway for the people
Do it.
listening, but so my boyfriend came to visit me over Christmas break and we didn't sleep in the same bed, we slept in the same room. Because my bed's too small for the both of us. We're like big, tall people, so like we need two beds. But anyway, he slept next to me in an air mattress, and
Mhm.
this was the first time that we've really like slept in the same room before. Because like prior to this, he had his own like guest bedroom, and I had my own room, so we didn't really, we were apart. Oh my god. So like he wakes up in the middle of the night and just starts freaking out. And this is a regular occurrence. Like it didn't just happen once. Like almost every night. I think they're called like just straight up like night terrors. So not nightmares, but like night terrors.
Mhm.
And it's just where like you wake up abruptly in a panicked state, kind of like what you were talking about, but this is like
Mhm.
more severe. Like he'll start like yelling and
Oh my gosh.
like trying to wake me up, and I can't tell if he is awake or he's asleep because
Oh.
this one night like he was nudging me and trying to wake me up, and this was like I don't know, like 4 in the morning, and he's trying to wake me up, and I'm like, what is wrong, like what are you doing? And he was like, there's somebody named Danny in the walls. And he's like, I
Gosh.
can hear him. He's like whispering. He was just like so dead serious, and I was like, will you shut up and go to bed? You're just freaking me out. Stop.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think he was like dreaming or something. I don't know. I mean,
Watch out for Danny in the walls.
well, I also said like, it might be our neighbor like upstairs or something. But I don't think he was like coherent. Like I don't think he was hearing what I was saying.
Yeah.
It was weird. He was like in between, like asleep and awake. But I asked him about it the next morning. I was like, "What were you talking about last night? Like you were saying there's a guy in the walls or something." And he had no memory of it at all.
Oh, that's creepy. I think your
He
boyfriend's possessed.
he had no idea what I was talking about.
I
And
think your boyfriend's possessed.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? You were like freaking out and trying to wake me up, and I was angry because it was 4 in the morning." I don't know, but it happened like multiple times. Not the guy in the walls thing, but just like he would wake me up for no reason. There was this one night he was standing over me,
No
like
thanks.
like I think he had his eyes closed, but he was like standing next to my bed, like looking down, like with his head down.
No
And I just
thanks.
saw him like out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, I woke up and I was like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? And he was just like, I don't know. And then like went back to his bed, and I was just like, okay. That also happened when we stayed at Carbondale. We stayed at the Holiday Inn together, and he did the same thing where like he will get up and start like walking around and like trying to, I don't know. He's not like talking to himself. He'll just get up and start walking around. And I said, "Juimi, what's wrong?" And he came over to my bed, and I just kind of like held his hand, like, "Are you okay? Like, what's wrong?" And he was just like, "I don't know." And then went back to bed. It was sad though, cuz he's like, "I really don't know what's wrong, like why I keep getting up."
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't think he's possessed. No, I think he has some kind of sleep disorder that keeps him awake.
I'm going with possessed till proven wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I've
yeah.
lived in 2 different haunted houses, so I have the right to call that.
Okay. But how do you explain like it happening like multiple places though? Like, I don't,
Ghosts just really
he's
like him.
no, he's not. He's not haunted.
I don't know.
I always feel bad for him because he doesn't sleep very well. Like he always is really tired the next day and he can't like stay asleep. And like I have trouble staying asleep sometimes too, but with him it's like really abrupt. Like he will just like jolt awake
Mm,
every night. And I'm like, that's really gotta suck because like you're not getting any sleep really.
yeah.
But
You should see a doctor about that.
well, I think he was like taking sleeping pills at one point, but I don't know if they got more expensive and he couldn't afford them or if he just didn't like them. I don't know. I don't know. I agree though. I think he should look into it again. Because
Yeah.
I want him to sleep. I want him to get a night's rest. I care about
Yeah.
him. But, anyways, I think it's about time we wrap this up unless you had something else to share.
Nope. Just after this, I'm gonna go play Phasmophobia.
Okay.
Get a computer so we can play.
I'm still working on it. For my birthday. JUIMY said I can get a new computer for my birthday.
Okay.
So you got one more month. One more month.
Finally. Maybe you'll get a computer before the big update. Before Horror 2.0 happens.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.